Shalom. My name is Liz McGee, and I am a Torah teacher with the electlife.org ministries, and I am here with more inconvenient truth. Isn't this fun? I mean, seriously, we can be liberated in our mind. It is time. So what I have another secret to impart. I'm telling you, this is probably, I have three top three. Okay, and this is definitely one of the top three. Mysteries. Okay, let me say this again. A mystery doesn't mean it's something unsolvable. It doesn't mean, that's something you shouldn't know about. All it means is it's just deep understanding. I always say this is like the college level understanding in the scriptures that you're just not going to see at the first glance because you just don't have, you're still working with adding and subtracting. Let's just say you haven't gone up into the higher math. It's just so what we're going to do is I'm going to give you this great understanding. It's an inconvenient truth, but it is the truth, and it is what is going to come out right now in these next couple of days, weeks, months, and years, because this is the wrap up. This is what the big secret's been. Okay. The Father, America in prophecy. Everyone wants to know, where's American prophecy? Are we Babylon? No, I don't believe that at all. We have plenty of Babylon in us because we got plenty of mixed multitude and plenty of people who are still God haters, God rejectors, and, still living in a lawless lifestyle. Well, oh well. We know that. The wheat and the tares grow together everywhere. But the other thing is, we are not the land over there, right? There's no way you can say that America, all of a sudden, the geography of the world has changed. No, we are not where Israel is today. That's known as the navel of the world, so to speak. We are in what is called biblically another place. Okay? Very important concept. Twice, there's a biblical principle that a matter is established if it has two witnesses. In other words, two very clear verses that say the same thing, and we have that. Yah promises he will provide Israel with another place, okay? Not the land, okay? Another place, just pure English here, another. And the key word in the Hebrew is this word, another, means literally another of a different kind. So it's not like we're getting the land, like another shot at the land over there, let's say. No. We are getting moved or transported, so to speak. We're getting to a whole nother place. It's a whole different animal. It's very important. In the Hebrew, there's a word for another that means of the same kind, or there's a word for another that means of a different kind. That's how, and we're talking about another of a different kind. Okay, number one. In 2 Samuel 7:10 and in 1 Chronicles 2. Oh, I'm sorry. In 2 Samuel 7:10, write it down. In 1 Chronicles 17:9 through 10, there is these two verses, and it's established, and it says, and I'll read it to you, and it said, in the context, let me tell you, this is a prophet speaking to David. This is a prophet, Samuel was one of the greatest prophets, speaking to David, our king. David, who is the archetype, let me just tell you this, David is the ultimate archetype for Mashiach, all right? King, we're all waiting for the king to come. Well, it's an archetype kind of King David who unites the whole, all 12 tribes under one banner. But it says here, I will provide a place for my people Israel and will plant them so that they may dwell in a place of their own and be disturbed no more. No longer will the sons of wickedness oppress them as they did at the beginning and have done since the day I appointed judges over my people Israel. So here the Father is speaking that he will provide a place and another place, and it's in there, another of a different kind. Samuel 7:10, it says, I will provide a place for my people Israel and plant them so that they may dwell in a place of their own and be disturbed no more. No longer will the sons of wickedness oppress them as they did at the beginning. These are two totally different books, word for word, saying the same thing. It is established. So let's go and see what this other place is. Okay. So It is twice established that Yah is going to do this, number one. Something that a plan we had. Yah did this when he pushed the nations to the edges of the earth, when he brought multitudes of people from all the nations to this great continent of America. This is all part and parcel of him providing for us another place. But now I want to give you, that is from the Torah established, and this is one of the greatest mysteries that has been stolen from us that we do not know. Christianity does not know that it is technically the multiplied seed from the house of Israel, the northern kingdom. If you didn't understand what I said, I got tons of teachings that will get flushed out in your mind very quickly if you apply yourself to knowledge. Okay, but I want to give you two quotes to prove my point, okay, that are not biblical per se, but they are dealing with this biblical matter. One is by none other than the Manly P. Hall. Now, Manly P. Hall, if you've got any legitimate conspiracy theory, he is one of the main Freemasons who was an extremely wicked, nasty man, Luciferian all the way. But he says this. He says, by the wisdom then of those gods who are eternally vigilant over the needs of man, and we're talking about the watcher angels, we're talking about the 70 shepherds talks about the gods of the nations, the angels. This is very deep wisdom that I have a lot of teachings on, but don't let it trip you up. The blessed lands of the west, what's west of Israel? Everything, when you're in the land in Israel, everything is geographically. If you turn to the west, which is how you do it, you're standing in Israel, you look to the Mediterranean, you look to the west. That's the west. Who's in the west? Well, the continent of North America is, all right? It says, the lands of the west were set apart for none of the great For none of the great civilizations of the past rose up in America to overshadow the continent with the ruins of old tradition or to set up the corruption of old administration policy. Foreign nations came to this continent and in times long ago, but they formed no permanent settlements or attempted any program of colonization. Now, that's true. We have had pockets of populations roaming around this country, but we have no huge, even South America has, the Incas has great civilizations, or we know Europe does, or America, we got no great civilizations that came out of this because it was waiting for an appointed time. We're the great civilization that's supposed to come out of this continent, which, for a while we had a brief shining moment. But listen to what he says, all right? And the soil was not impoverished by thousands of years of intensive cultivation, nor were the natural resources ravished to supply the sustenance to maintain the wars and the ageless feuds that these Luciferians keep us in, okay? The better way of life drew them here, for it had been established that here man could build a future free from tyranny, intolerance, and I don't have what that last word, but I can even guess. But the point is, see, they know this, and they know they have to take America out of the equation if the globalists are going to have the success that they want. All right, but that's from a true Lucifer who understood that this nation was set apart. Where did he get that understanding? Okay, it's hidden, it's deeply kept from us, but it's coming to the light. Now let me give you on the flip side, a great. This is from a Charles Totten, who was a professor of military tactics at Yale University in the late 1800s. Okay? And he says, I can never be too thankful to God Almighty that in my youth, he used the late Professor Wilson, who was a Yale theology professor, to show to me, and this is the Charles Totten who is speaking, to show to him the difference between the two houses of Israel. So in the 1800s, see, people, this has been known, hidden from us, but known by the elites. Okay, to show the two houses, you have the house of Ephraim, house of Joseph. It's all, the northern kingdom. I have scriptural proof of this, and there is what you would call the biblical land over there. All right, we have these two houses, but it says that in this very understanding is the key to which the entire Bible is made intelligible or understandable. And I cannot say too strongly that the man who has not yet seen that the Israel of the scriptures is totally distinct from the Jewish people, is yet in his very infancy, the mere beginnings of biblical study, and that to this day, 7/8 of the Bible is shut out to his understanding. And I'll tell you what, that was my understanding until one day I sat down and I asked the Father, show me. I'll pretend I don't know anything. You teach me. And he taught me, first time I'd ever heard it, about the two houses of Israel. And this nation here is the nation that the Father preserved for us at the end of the age, where we could rise up in our firstborn status, unite with our brother Judah, and be a powerhouse in the world as an Ephraimite nation to help. It's really all about damage control as these wicked, wicked Luciferians absolutely try to trash this whole planet and everyone in it before they have to give it back to Mashiach. So this is an exciting understanding. This is something in depth we need to understand. We need to speak of ourselves correctly. We need to understand who we are. We need to rise up in our firstborn. We need to unite with Israel. This is the plan. This is what's going to cause our victory. Who knew? All right. So on that note, let's look for these Bible verses. 1 Chronicles 17, 9 through 10, 2 Samuel 7 through 10. Okay. And again, on the Elect Life, join the study notes. I have every single verse already delineated in a very colorful, easy to understand way. This ministry has done the heavy lifting for you, so that you can come in to these, you can clean up your mind, get rid of the inconvenient truths, or come back to the truth, and let's all get on Yah's page. Because I'll tell you, people, it's very serious today. This is no time to be blind, to be ignorant, to be in rebellion, to be stiff-necked, or to still be God-hating and God-rejecting. So on that note, I will see you in the next discourse on another inconvenient truth. Shalom. Shalom.